What's up, friends? It is Fitner from Superheroes Ultimate, and we are here at the Bandai Namco booth with David, and David's going to show us.
You are going to see the best booth at Toy Fair 2026, the Bandai Namco booth. Here we're in our One Piece section. One Piece is great because it crosses all of our brands. Right now you're looking at the SH Figuarts for the One Piece for the Romance Dawn arc. It's just really cool to see a lot of the details in these figures. Figuarts is known for being a premier action figure. You can do so many different poses. Anything you saw in the anime you can make happen. A couple more SH Figuarts here. Of course, you have Ace, we have Luffy. Just another way to show you just some of the action poses you can get them in. Over here, we have the Luffy collection. It's a real fun thing. It's all artist driven. And so where it's just a plain Luffy, but then they have different theming. So we have a bunch over here, some that look like Luffy, some that are kind of like Nami themed, some that have wanted posters. They're just real cool collectibles. They come in blind boxes. So you don't never know what you're going to get. There's of course a chase. My personal favorite is the To Be Continued, but all of them are just so cool and so much fun. And then of course, we talked about the SH Figuarts, the high-end action figures. Here we have the anime heroes. This is the more toyetic line. These are a price point at about $20-ish. What's cool about these is if a kid's getting into One Piece, you don't want to give them a $70 action figure. So you start them off at the anime heroes. They can take in the bathtub, they can take in the backyard, they can play with it, they can put it through its paces, but it's still got that amazing sculpt. It's still got a lot of flexibility, a lot of articulation in the play style. So Anime Heroes is a really good line. It's not just One Piece. Anime Heroes has, My Hero has a couple other lines. And then you move down, so we have the larger one. We have the Anime Heroes Mega. We have Luffy here. It's $19. And so it's just for those of us who want something a little bigger to hold on to. And so that's
this big one over here doesn't have any articulation, right? It's more like a statue.
It's more, it has minimal articulation, but it does have some articulation. Love articulation in the hips and the arms, so it's a 5-point articulation.
Which I still love that it has the texture wrinkle to the clothing and everything, which detail-wise, paint-wise, still legit.
It's really cool. And then if you're looking for something in the Ultimate Legends line, this is bare bones action figure, but still something great if you want to get an army of Luffys, or if you want to have the whole Straw Hat crew, but you don't want to break the bank. This might be a good bet for you. And then after that, after the figures, we get into statues of it all, the Banpresto. What's cool about Banpresto and Ichibankuji later is they're so fast. They were the first ones to have Year 5 when it debuted. And they just do a really good job of when it happens in the anime, they get it out really quickly. And what's cool is they range in size. You can see we have the really small ones there. And when we get to the shelf below, we'll see some of the really big ones and stuff like that. But still, these are meant to the paint and the shading to make it look like a pop just right out of the anime. And it's just something you can put on your shelf. If you're like me and you're not super great at posing action figures, these are already pre-posed for you. You don't have to worry about it. You heard anyone talking to you about, hey, you get a posing this figure, but it's just so great looking. So yeah, here we have a big Gear 5 Luffy. You can see how they get bigger. And these are meant to evoke emotion, to remind you of, hey, you saw this in the anime. Here's this moment you saw in the anime. Put it on your desk so that every time you look at it, you remember, oh, you remember that time when Gear 5 Luffy did this. A lot of them you can put together to make a whole scene with a couple different ones.
That's cool.
They're really cool. Just the way they use effects and the artistry in them is just crazy.
I love the effects over here because every time you shine any type of lights on them, it tends to make them pop.
It's got the translucent, or you put that in a display cabinet with any kind of LED lights or something like that, it's going to look like an actual effect. And then to the far right, after the statues, we have our model kits. And so our hobby team, they've made model kits out of a lot of the ships. Not all of them yet because there's so many, but I'm sure they're still working on it. But they have quite a few ships already out. They have the Going Merry, the Sunny, Ace's ship, the Marine ship. They have so many ships out right now.
So we got puzzles now?
Down here, yeah, just other Bandai lines. These are from N-Sky. These are wanted posters. Next to them, we also have some paper theaters. The paper theaters are kind of really cool puzzles in that they're layered, and so you can see.
Now this is completely paper, right? Because it's really intricate looking.
So this is just layers of paper.
That's crazy. It looks so dope.
And it's to the left of them are more, I wouldn't say basic, because some of them are also very difficult to put together. But it's cool. You just have, you put these slats in and it creates this whole scene, and it's just so much fun. This is more of the Banpresto, the statues. More Gear 5 Luffy. Everyone loves a good Gear 5 Luffy. And I'm not sure it was the desired use for the Zoro for the pin, but it's definitely a cool use of poor Zoro being tied up before Luffy saved him in the first couple episodes. One Piece is huge. Second season of the live action show comes out. It's just crazy how long One Piece has been going and how much love the fandom has for it.
We're finally hitting season 2.
Finally getting season 2. Season 1 was awesome.